Hey everybody, it looks like the studio moves just keep coming. At this point, it seems relentless, right? Right now, we're just going to focus in on the TV side of the equation and on another news item that many folks just are not aware of yet. And I imagine the news will break a little bit more widely or become a little more mainstream here in the near future. But at the moment, it looks like Comcast is looking to shake up the way they do business over at NBC. That's right, Comcast is the parent company of NBC and Universal Studios, Universal Pictures, etc., etc. And this is actually huge news. It's quite possible that something unheard of could happen when it comes to a mainstay, at least historically, when it comes to late night programming. So, curious what I'm talking about? Well, let's dive into it. Here we go. So it seems that the long-storied network, NBC, is actually looking for some cost savings. So they're doing some cost cutting, some huge cost cutting. They're actually looking at reducing their own primetime schedule in order to find those cost-saving measures. And honestly, this isn't a joke. They're actually considering cutting 1/3 of their primetime hours every single week, and they're going to do that at the end of the broadcast day. So the last hour of prime time would be dropped completely. And this would hand back about 7 hours to their affiliates, which would give them an opportunity to go out and sell it themselves and make hay with advertising. So that's a boon for the local markets, but it could be a disaster for some marketing campaigns out there and some marketing jobs working at these networks. But we'll move on from that and say this. It would actually be misrepresenting things to say that they hadn't considered previously doing this. The fact that they now have Mark Lazarus involved, who happens to be the chairman of television and streaming, basically spearheading this effort, well, they're clearly serious about it this time. It's also not the first cutback in the overall schedule in recent months. I bet most of you don't know that either. In fact, right now, they're handing back the last half an hour of the broadcast day. I think that's from 1:30 a.m. to 2 a.m., giving back several valuable hours to affiliates to use as they wish. Probably infomercials. I mean, let's be honest, it's probably what that time is used for anyway. Cost-saving moves have been going on at all the networks for some period of time now. In fact, over the last several years, you've seen the reduction in scripted programming, and that's basically the proof of the pudding there. You can also see that live sports are expanding into once secured drama and sitcom slots, and it's really easy to see where the networks are going here. They're going for more FOMO types of products so that the audience is actually engaged with the boob tube when the events are running. The other thing to recognize here is that as lucrative as live sports and events are, they're also incredibly expensive because you have a huge upfront cost for them. This means that there isn't enough money to take a flyer on a new scripted series, or as many as you normally would. So you're going to reduce the number of pilots and the number of series that you're going to order. It's also explaining why you're seeing a lot more shows that are carbon copy paste jobs like CSI Hoboken, right? Live sports also allows for less investment in the scripted shows themselves because you don't need to fill as many episodes during the course of a television year. Fall is actually a pretty dead time when it comes to ratings outside of live sports and events, and it doesn't really pick up until you start to get towards winter time. So it makes a lot of sense. Now, we're going to get to some truly bizarre happenings and some very credible rumors now that really kind of, shocked me, to be honest with you. NBC has a chance to do one of two things here, or they may not do anything at all. It sounds like they're actually going to do something, though. So we're going to start with the most likely thing that they'll do. NBC, if they do cut off the last hour of their prime time, could move the Jimmy Fallon show earlier. A new time slot could give him a jump on his competition, so to speak, or it could cause dominoes to fall at the other networks, meaning they might repeat the same thing NBC is doing, because there's a lot of copycat stuff going on at the studios right now. They might copycat here as well. I always recommend we step back a bit, take a look at it from a business perspective. And with all of these things being considered, and with some things I'm being led to believe, this could actually happen this time. You could actually see this actually happen. It could. This time. It could happen. Linear audience overall is shrinking. In fact, it's shrinking faster than anyone is willing to admit, at least not publicly. And the only segments that don't seem to be contracting are going to be those that are live sports and live events. You also have some unscripted shows that aren't contracting as quickly, but for the most part, live events. Remember, I said just a few moments ago, there's two possibilities here. So hang on to your hat, because this one you probably won't believe, and I almost don't believe it, even though I've been hearing it more than a few times now. Jimmy Fallon and the historic Tonight Show may be gone, believe it or not. It could also run into a limited nights situation per week. This is very surprising to me because Jimmy Fallon just renewed his deal in 2021 for 5 years. They're going to pay him $16 million a year to keep doing this job, at least until the end of the contract, which, what does that make it, 2025 when it ends? This is actually also the longest deal that they've ever signed with him for The Tonight Show. So I don't know, are they just going to write a check to him, pay him off? Your guess is as good as mine. But regardless how this all shakes out, and believe me, it's going to, it's quite clear that Comcast is looking for some ways to clear the books, right? To get some space there, kind of like Warner Brothers Discovery has been doing. And it sounds like Paramount is beginning to do the same process, and they're also like selling off properties, well, not selling them off, but licensing them to others to use to make money, which makes sense. They have a pretty decent catalog. At this point, the only player in the game that doesn't seem to be doing similar things is Disney, but I imagine in the not too distant future, going to be jumping in here as well. And there's a lot of reasons for that, and believe me, as we go on the next couple of weeks, I'm going to keep giving you stories that are going to kind of lead us down to why that's happening. But we've come to this point in the video. What do you think? Do you think that NBC is going to follow through and actually reduce more of their hours? Again, I remind you that they basically cut out a half hour at the end of the day between 1:30 and 2 a.m., which again will likely be filled by the locals with, infomercials. Let's say it that way. But do you think that they'll actually reduce their primetime? Do you think that they will take away 1/3 of their primetime hours per week? That's a lot of hours, 7 per week. Do you think that the Tonight Show could actually get bumped or actually reduced? Bumped, meaning it moves forward and gets a jump on their competition, or reduced, maybe even eliminated? You think that's a possibility? I don't know. I've heard it more than once now. And do you think that this will cause other networks to actually respond in kind? Do you think they're going to be compelled to change the way they do business as well? Because they all need to find a way to save money, because they've been spending it recklessly for a long period of time, and linear television, the way it's presented now, is dying off. There's a lot of reasons for that. We can talk about that in a different video, but those are the questions I pose to you. So use the comment section down below. Let me know what you think there, and I would truly appreciate that. Of course, I'm going to encourage you to support other independent creators out here on the platform. They absolutely do deserve your support. They really don't get the kind of love that they need from the platforms themselves. They need your push. It really does help. Engagement does drive traffic and growth. So that's why I ask you to do it for my videos, and I'm going to ask you to do it for your favorite creators as well. And with that, be sure to take care of yourself. Take care of others. Wash your hands, of course, because it's good hygiene. And until next time,
Thanks for visiting today. Be sure you're subscribed and hit that for alerts.
Yay!
Of course, like and share all of the videos that you can, as it helps with the algorithm. Have a great day.